tonight's meeting with Elder Donnell. We're going to make sure that all of the speakers are muted, and you're going to have to unmute yourself when it's time to talk. And Alex will let us know when our Facebook Live and recording is going.
Okay, so I'm going to mute everyone, and anybody who's speaking, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Do you just hit the mic that's red to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Willie, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Can anybody?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. You're going to let us know when we're going to start the video?
Yep.
You ready?
It is just about there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. The order of business for tonight. We welcome to our communities. We welcome our Communities United for Action Town Hall. It's about unsafe inside. So thank you for joining us tonight. I am Willie Hopkins, a board member of CUFA, and I will be co-hosting with Elder Donnell Reagan. We will be hearing sewer backup stories from our members, and then we'll have a question and answer period, and finally, a call to action for service. The purpose of the town hall is to lift the voices of sewer backup victims. And when Elder Donnell come on, he'll tell you himself that he's a victim of the sewer backup.
I'm on.
All right.
I'm on.
Okay, you want to tell us your story? And we'll start from there. You on? Elder. Is his mic on?
No, he's muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can now.
Okay.
Can you start? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Could you start by telling your story
Sure.
about your experience with the backup?
Sure. Hi everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I'm Elder Donnell D. Ragland. I'm a sewer refugee. I am a victim of having a sewage overflow in my home. Me and my family all was affected by this. To the point where I had to take action myself. And I had to end up leaving my home. Me and my entire family had became sick, smelling the sewage back up and dealing with it. It was up to my kneecaps in my basement. And so I had to fight for myself with no help from Metropolitan Sewage District, MSD. And so I know what it's like for anyone to experience sewer backup. It's not safe. It's a health hazard. We had studies on it where people can get burnt and just end up almost defenseless against it. So, been advised not to try to clean it up ourselves. Leave that to the experts when they get around to it. And so, and it can affect. It don't even have to occur in your home. It can be your next door neighbor, and you still can be affected by it. So this is a very serious problem that we have, and we're hoping and praying for some sort of relief from this. We just had maybe a 3 or 4 day rain period, and I know a lot of people has been affected by that, and understand it's going to rain a little more tomorrow and then clean up. So if we was to have a tornado or something in the city and they tell us to go to the basement, how can we go to the basement if the basement's flooded? It's not safe. So the ones that experiencing flooding will have nowhere to go. And we had a warning that instructed everybody to go to the lowest part, which is the basement. Go down there for safety. So I know that's like a nightmare. We don't want no one to be placed in that position. So we are, let me see. We are hoping that everyone that's tuned in tonight join us by signing the petition and join CUFA as a member. We will share links throughout this meeting. Unsafe and inside to a justice platform, and to become a member of CUFA in the chat and Facebook Live. We will have more on this on those later. We will also be following your chats and comments. So please feel free to use those features throughout the day. I believe they had already explained that Allison will be muting everyone, and the only thing you got to keep in mind is you got to unmute yourself when you're ready to speak, or if you have any questions, we're going to open the floor for questions and answer session.
Time.
So I turn it back over to Willie, and he would tell you a little more about it.
Okay. We have 4 members scheduled to speak. I ask you all to speak 2 or 3 minutes. Miss Wanda, as
Yes,
your
sir.
timekeeper, would you let them know when there's a minute left so we can wrap up, so we can move on and get everyone in?
Yes, I got you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. First one up is Sue. You have the floor, young lady.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sue Bills and I'm from Covedale. My family's been experiencing sewer backups for over 50 years, as have many of my neighbors along Covedale Avenue. I was contacted by CUFA after the 2016 flooding, as many of us were, and I submitted a request to MSD for reimbursement for my sewer backup that left debris in my basement. Water came up several feet from my floor drain right in front of my furnace. Luckily, I had my wet vacs going so I could save my furnace. I contacted MSD several times, but was denied any settlement due to their excuse that my flooding was caused by overland flooding and by my downspouts being connected to my drains under my basement floor. Allison also has been in my house and has seen roughly 2 to 3 feet water lines on my walls in past flooding. I disconnected my downspouts, but still have to deal with overland flooding and sewer backups through my floor drains. Neighbors on both sides of me, along with other houses nearby, also are experiencing the same situation. One block along Covedale has been lucky to have MSD install overflow devices in their front yards, which admits there is a problem. Unfortunately, the entire street has not been that lucky. There cannot be a piecemeal solution where only a few houses are helped and the other houses are ignored. After recently meeting with the National EPA and seeing the hot spots along Covedale Avenue and other streets, such as Pickway, Prosperity, West High Street, Leona, Muddy Creek, and other streets off of Sydney, we know we are not alone. Most of these homes have been denied any solutions to their sewer backups. The time to act is now, especially with COVID-19 possibly bringing even more health concerns to our houses, which the EPA is currently testing. My family and I, over a 50-year period, have paid over $20,000 to have our basement waterproofed twice and pipes torn up and removed. 20 years ago, houses were torn down and they're still having issues. Former MSD employees have admitted if it doesn't get cleaned out, it will still cause problems. This could also be contributing to our issues. We need answers. We need solutions. We have waited long enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Miss Ella from Bond Hill.
Unmuted.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Ella Thomas, and I'm from Bond Hill. Like Susan, I have been a resident of Bond Hill for over 50 years and have had numerous floods, and especially with 2016 flooding, and even sometimes after that, the sewage coming up out of the toilet that's in the basement. This is unacceptable on all levels for anyone to have to experience this. It is a health risk, mentally, emotionally, and physically. MSD is putting profit over people, and it is time to take legal actions for it to stop, and to stop it now. We have 100-year-old pipe systems that need to be fixed immediately. My neighbor up the street having, again, select housing that will get the prevention pipes put in. Now I have dirty water in my toilet as we speak, as of today, from the rain that is going on. This is unacceptable. It is illegal for anyone to live like this. And again, every time it rains, I get anxiety running downstairs to see if water coming in the basement. They will use the term overland flooding, that it is my problem or the residents' problem. Again, it needs to be fixed. How are you picking and choosing which houses you're going to fix and which one is not going to get it? If you're fixing one house, it's going to affect your neighbors, as such I am experiencing today. Again, legal actions, it is illegal for anyone to live with these conditions, and it needs to be fixed, and it needs to be fixed now. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Louise Chambers from Gulf Manor.
Be quiet.
Miss Chambers?
That's your little brother. You heard me say be quiet. Hold on, call. You tell him to be quiet.
Louise, I'm gonna
Miss Chamber
unmute
around?
everyone. She is on the phone, so I'm gonna unmute everyone. I think that might be the issue for Louise. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My name is Louise Chambers. I live in Gulf Manor. I also had a backup in 2016. That was my first backup, and it was horrible. Like you said, it was about 3 or 4 feet of water or more in the basement. I lost my refrigerator that was down there, washer, dryer, and hot water heater. The furnaces it's like they said it was like pretty much okay. So far, it's been working off and on. But anyway, since then, I've had about 3 or 4 other floods. 3 of them been reported. And they took care, not really satisfactory. The first one in 2016, I had to make 3 appeals to try to get something, try to reimburse me that was satisfactory. And I had to appeal like 3 different times in order to get that, which wasn't really satisfactory. I ended up cleaning up half of the basement by myself, the part where the washer and dryer, because I had to get people down there to assess the damage to the appliance. So I had to remove clothes. I had winter clothes in plastic containers. The water just knocked over clothes and everything was all over the floor. In the meantime, I had gnats and flies down there. It took them like 5 days after I called. They took them 5 days. It took them 3 days to get here, to get somebody. And then it took them 5 days to clean up mess that was down there. I set it outside, and first Rumpkin said that they wasn't going to take it. They finally did because it was really smelling up the neighborhood. It had flies, and people was complaining next door about the mess that was beside the house before a garbage day. So far, every time it rains, I'm like everybody else. I'm scared to death. I need to be home. If I'm not home, I'm trying to rush home because if it continues to a hard rain, it's going to definitely back up. Right now, I've got water socks around it. I usually get blankets or whatever to put around it to sort of stop the water from coming up too high. And so like everybody's saying, I just need help with this because the anxiety is just really getting on my nerves and making me sick every time it rains. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Robin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Willie. My name is Robin, and I live in Bridgetown, Ohio, in Green Township for over 20 years now. I have had sewer backups in my home for more than a decade. It wasn't till I met CUFA in 2017 that I realized what was going on. MSD did take it. First of all, I live in fear of rain just like everybody else. I mean, it's not just fear of the rain. Rain used to be soothing to me. I loved it. Now, like others have said, you go out, you're afraid that you got to get right back home. Well, now nobody's going out, but you do live in fear constantly. And not only that, but living here, every time I flood, I do get sick. It's making me sick. Metropolitan Sewer District finally took responsibility for a sewer backup that I had in March of 2017. And I too had to fight with them through court to get my damages covered. I wasn't satisfied with it, but I did get coverage according to their terms. I had another sewer backup in June of 2019 that they took responsibility for, which means I qualify for help through the legally required sewer backup prevention program. They came, MSD investigated whether they could put a prevention device in my home to stop sewer backups and concluded that they could not, due to my home being over a sewer main. Tom Frank from Metropolitan Sewer District said that maybe I could be included in the grant to buy out Muddy Creek homes that cannot be fixed, like mine. But I found out from the Muddy Creek residents that this would not be possible. MSD should be acting to get me out of my home. It is unsafe for me to be here, and I live in constant fear that I will have another sewer backup that will make me sick. Now I could even have coronavirus come up through my basement into my home. I can't leave my home. I have to stay in my home. And I feel like I'm living in double jeopardy. This is not acceptable. We need the city and the county to focus on the sewer backup prevention program, because we are unsafe inside. And I thank you all for listening to what I'm going through.
Thank you. And we would like to thank all you ladies for your testimony. For the next 10 minutes, we will open the floor for questions and comments for anyone that has a testimony.
Okay, so
Now is the time.
I unmuted everyone, so you should be okay unless you've chosen to mute yourself.
I still ask that everyone keep your comments and questions limited so we can move on. But we would like to hear everyone. Okay, who's up? The lady that was Miss Andrea friend, did she have something? Did she have a comment? I forgot her name. Did she have something she needed to say?
Miss Horton has her hand up, I believe.
Yes,
Hold on,
Wildman, are you there? Can you give your testimony, please?
I'm here. Okay, can you hear me?
Great. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that I'm having here. But I'm listening to many of the comments and the concerns, and I too share in the same predicament. As the one lady said, that when you have water that is standing, coronavirus is a major concern. As a matter of fact, we have at least 3 feet of water standing in my mother's backyard. This is the 3rd furnace that has to be replaced. Second set of washer and dryer that has to be replaced. And then when these waters stand, it takes so long for them to recede. I think it may have been 2019 that they had such a big flood, and it was in the like in the warmer months, and that the mosquitoes, you couldn't go outside because they were everywhere. So, and then that in itself is a concern of disease. So I'm hearing everyone else's stories, and I sympathize, because with my mother and I, we're experiencing the same thing. MSD will come out and they will say they can't tell where the water's coming from. It could be coming from Norwood. It could be coming from Gulf Manor. But no one has ever taken the time to assess to find out where this problem is originating from. So I just want to share in that if there's a petition that I need to sign, I'm willing to sign, because this is a detriment to all of us, to all our health, our communities, and something has to be done.
Thank you.
Does Moto E do you have your hand up? Moto E Plus?
No.
I don't know. Does he have his hand up? Okay.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everyone is heard.
Is
Hey,
it
Willie.
anybody else?
Yes.
Willie, can you hear me? This is Roger.
Yes, sir.
I have a little story to tell. It's a little different. I have a piece of property that I used to live in, but now I rent it. And I had a tenant in it in 2018. And it backed up about 6-8 inches of water. It took out my furnace, took out my water heater. And I did call MSD because of CUFA. I had not known what to do if it wasn't for CUFA. But what does a person that rent, his responsibility is to the renter. I had to get that furnace fixed because she was paying her rent. I had to get a water heater fixed because she was paying her rent. However, it was not my fault. So I had not heard that kind of a story told. And I'm sure a lot of that happens. So that was a bad, I mean, their furniture was ruined in the basement and they got application to fill out. And of course, that is something to think about. But I had to move on that quickly after I found out there was the basement had backed up with sewage. So that's my story for the night.
Thank you, sir. I would like for you all to mute yourself. And when you get ready to speak, then unmute yourself because we're hearing all kind of static from all over the place.
One quick note,
who else
if
has
you
a
are on the phone, it's either you can use your mute function on your phone or you can press *6 and it will mute you, and you do the same thing to unmute yourself. It's *6.
Any more testimonies or comments?
My friend was also a renter. My friend was also a renter off of Prosperity, and ultimately, it's still the owner's responsibility to get the settlement, right?
Was someone else trying to speak?
When I was when I had property, I always made my my tenants secure renter's insurance because my insurance is not going to cover their personal property. And legally, I don't think that they're required, the owner is required to, especially if you tell them that they need the renter's insurance.
Yeah, but Wanda, I don't know if regular insurance covers, I don't think regular insurance covers backups. I think you have to have a separate clause on that.
But if you have renter's insurance, it would protect your property inside of that unit. That's
Willie,
my
I have
understanding.
a question.
Yes.
The charger.
So my question is, what is it that we're asking for the MSD and the city and the county to do about these basements that are flooding and people who are stuck in their basements with coronavirus?
So I think they're getting to that, Mary. I just want to make one quick thing about the renters. The sewer backup program, if it is MSD's responsibility and it was a sewage backup, because of a lack of capacity in the sewers, the renter can make a claim on the damage that was done to their personal property, as well as the landlord for the real property damage that was done. So, and then, Willie, I'll turn it back over to you to, if there's any other questions before we move on.
Okay. If there is no more questions, then we will be moving on. And Elder Donnell, you're up.
Willie, before you move
Yes.
on, can I direct people to look at the chat? Make sure you keep your chat up because people are making comments in the chat. And that way I won't have to repeat a comment. You can follow the comments and discussions as they happen, live time.
Did everyone understand that?
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mute everyone again because we are getting a lot of background noise. And then Elder, if you're taking over, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Now we're gonna move on to first. We would like to thank you for your questions and comments. And now we're gonna move on to the call to action. The call to action part of the meeting. So you have heard all the stories of some sewer backup victims. We know thousands of people are having backups each year, and few are getting the relief they need. Help us lift their voices and get justice. Tonight, we are asking you to stand with us for sewage justice. Make sure you sign our Unsafe Inside petition tonight. The link is in the chat or comments on Facebook. Share our petition with friends, family tonight, and ask them to sign on too. If you have had a sewer backup, please share your story with CUFA. In the comment section of the petition, you can even upload a picture. Now, this is important, very important. If you are experiencing any sewage backup, please take pictures or video it if you can, because seeing is believing. So make sure that's one of your first course of action. If you got a smartphone or a phone, we know our cell phones got cameras on them, most of them. Take pictures, please. That's important. Take pictures. Some of us in a crisis like that, we don't think about filming a picture, but we do need that. So that's why I'm stressing on, make sure to take pictures. Damn it.
This straight.
We will be in contact for the details on our sewer, details on our platform, delivered very soon. So watch your email. Check your emails. You will be hearing from CUFA real soon. I would like to thank everyone again for joining CUFA's tonight for our Unsafe Inside Town Hall. This is our second edition, and we're going to make sure to continue with a third and a fourth if necessary. So before we close, I would like to turn it back over to Willie to say a few words about becoming a CUFA member.
Willie, and can you real quick just let everybody know what it says in the petition? Because I know we've been sharing the link, but we should just say out loud what exactly we're asking for in that. I know if you.
I don't have a petition.
So I think Robin and Sue had mentioned it. Do either one of you want to talk about that? And the sewer backup petition that we're sharing here.
Robin? Unmute her. Unmute her. Who's speaking, Robin or Wanda?
There's two Robins, I think.
Miss Ball.
No, I was signaling for her to unmute.
Okay.
I got you unmuted, Robin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Robin.
Okay. Okay, I just clicked on it here, and it says in the petition, tell city council and county commissioners, fix or buy out sewer backup homes now. What do you do in a quarantine when your home is unsafe? Thousands of people each year experience sewer backups due to our failing sewer system. Tell Cincinnati City Council and Hamilton County Commissioners, install backup prevention devices or get our residents out of their unsafe homes now. Then they're asking for you to sign the petition below to provide to our elected leaders. If you're living in an unsafe home due to multiple sewer backups, share your story in the comment section and attach a picture or video of your sewer backup. And then it's mentioning Mayor John Cranley, members of Cincinnati City Council and Hamilton County Commissioners. We, the undersigned, demand you take action now to immediately install prevention devices or buy homes in Hamilton County where repeated sewer backups are making them unsafe. We fear spring rains and tornado warnings that require us to shelter in our basements because our basements will fill up with raw sewage. The COVID-19 crisis has put us in an impossible situation where residents are held captive in their homes that are making them sick. And we've got, we need a resolution now. The city and county are legally obligated under the global consent decree to either resolve the illegal sewer backups or to buy our homes. Now it's more important than ever that the city and county act to comply with the legal requirements to immediately address homes plagued by repeated sewer backups. And that is for Communities United for Action. We need to get this information from individuals. We know there's thousands of individuals being involved in this unprecedented time that we're going through today. So go ahead and sign the petition. Let us hear your story. Join CUFA. We have a special going on right now. Memberships half price.
Allison.
So I think Willie's going to do that.
Allison,
Okay.
Allison, can you explain to people where they can sign on to the petition?
Yeah, so I'm sharing stuff in the chat.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
In the chat, Andrea Baker asked a question. Can someone answer that question for her about the consent decree?
Okay, so I see Andrea is asking, is there anything in the consent decree that makes concessions for overland flooding? Andrea, if overland flooding is, if overland flooding, as I understand, if it emanates from a lack of capacity in the sewers, they are responsible for it. But as you know, very often they see any overland flooding, and yeah, I see Ella, you're shaking your head. So how does that go?
They consider that your fault or you're responsible for it. Previous, I've called every time I have water in the basement, and it was always my fault to 2016, and then where it rose up to my knees. And again, it's always, well, you ought to get a water system put in, a filter put in, but it's Sue, I believe, done, and it still haven't helped. So, you know, you could spend all the money that you want, but if it's coming up, like mine came up out the toilet, that's not overland flooding. That's a sewer problem.
Okay, what if it comes up what if it accumulates in your backyard? And Robin, are you still there? Can you speak to that? Because I was mainly talking about your mom's issue.
Well,
Robin, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
No, Robin Horton, the one in Bond Hill.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Andrea, the water that what we're talking about in my mother's backyard, it floods so that it is probably, I would say, at least 5 feet. If you can park a car in the garage, the water is up to the top of the garage. So that's how deep it is back there. Her land from that garage all the way over, it's like a pool. And it happens. They said you can put in a sump pump. The sump pump hasn't worked. They spent tons of money getting these things in place. And as I said, just getting new furnaces. But they always come back and say, well, you probably need to put a sump pump, or maybe if you put a drain. They've done everything, and it's the city, it's the overland water that is the problem. Even if you put with the sump pump that they put in, it still cannot, the new drain, it cannot hold all of the water that comes through there. And that's coming from, they assessed it that they don't know where it's coming from, but nobody's ever taken the time to research it. So it's a huge problem.
This is Elder Donnell. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you filed a claim on that?
We filed a claim on it back in 2019, and then 16, and then when it happened again, and I think it maybe been maybe 18. They said they didn't pay for the new furnaces or anything. That was at my mother's expense. So so they just never had, after that they never helped. They never followed through.
Okay.
The letters to
they lowballed you so bad.
Right.
Until they lowballed the offer and everything that you lost, until it was useless to even. You just have to take something so you can settle. And who wants to just settle just to get rid of it? And the problem is not fixed.
The problem is not fixed. Exactly.
Okay. You got
Clark
to file another claim. You got to file another claim.
Mm-hmm.
You file another claim, and this time, if you don't get no relief, then you can bring the federal court in, and you can get a hearing. You can get a hearing in front of a judge.
Okay.
But this is the problem. This is the problem that we're facing with. That's why we're trying to get people to join CUFA right now. The more people we get, the more we can get done.
Mm-hmm.
So then the thing about it is, at that point, Elder, you and Robin, you will have to be prepared to prove that the overland flooding is actually emanating from the sewers. So we can talk more about that off.
Okay.
Clark, would you have something to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say something about this overland flooding and other problems that folks are having now. We've heard that excuse of, oh, it's the water is coming from over the land. The thing about it is the city, the county, they're the ones that approve the plans for various plats where homes are built. They approve that whole system. If there's a problem with any part of the system, whether it be the streets, the curbs, whatever the case might be, and it's governmental, they are responsible for dealing with that.
Yes,
we've been hearing this overland flooding excuse for too long. That water going over the land is still in the city or in the county, and we have a city engineer and we have a county engineer. We have people that approve building plans and neighborhood plans when they're going to build a new neighborhood, or so we need to up our efforts on that, because they are still responsible. They're responsible for everything. If there's a problem with the road in the middle of the road, they're responsible for it. They're responsible for all of the infrastructure. All of the infrastructure is the responsibility of someone other than us private citizens.
That's correct.
And that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to give you one quick example and then shut up. When they're going to build a big building now, like a shopping place, a Target or whatever, or even a neighborhood plat with a number of homes, they make them build a retention pond now to handle water that's going to run off from the area. So that's just an example. They are responsible no matter what. They need to help us no matter what. And we need more people and more numbers so that we can add that in our conversations and our letters with them. We're not the engineers that are in charge of this city. They are. And
That's right.
That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, let's move on. We're moving on to the membership. As a board member, part of my duties are to help membership grow and to raise money for our future battles. We need our membership to grow instantly. We have won some big battles and we are fighting some big battles and we are winning a lot of battles now. But we have to prepare ourselves for the future battles that are that's coming out now, such as shut-offs, evictions, and people getting kicked out of their homes. You know, that's not right. They might throw it, you know, those are some of the things they might throw us. So please join us so we can get going to get things done. We need numbers. Numbers is power. So we'll be able to stop the heavy boots on our throats. So we can say, hey, that's enough. We're gonna fight back. We need members. We need members is power. We need the power. We need the members. And our membership is usually $10. But until June the 30th, we're reducing the membership dues to the membership to $5, and the shirts, the t-shirts are $12. We must have t-shirts so when we go fight these battles, we look like we are somebody. So, and the cost is 12, you know, until June the 31st, like I said, it'll be $17 for the membership and the shirt. If you can't get them both, get something. That's it. Mr. Elder, I'm
Yes, sir.
turning it back over to you.
Yes, sir. Well, you heard, like I say, you heard all the testimonies and the stories, and I know that we didn't hear them all tonight, but we are in a state of emergency. This is serious, so very serious. I'm going to sign it, and if I can sign it 3 times, I'll sign it 3 times, because I am fed up with having my family at risk. This is almost the same as the coronavirus. This flooding got to stop. And just like President Clark said, they are responsible. I don't care what they tell you, they are responsible. And you just got to continue to file on them and join in with a fighting committee to help you. You don't have to fight them by yourself. That's why we often you the membership so cheap. Somebody can borrow $5. I'll loan you $5 if you ain't got it. But you need to get involved, and we need to raise our voices. Now is the time to strike. While we are winning cases and people are beginning to recognize us nationwide, not just Hamilton County and city of Cincinnati, we beginning to be recognized nationwide. This is the time for us to step back on their throat and get their feet up off of ours. So this is very important for everybody to join up now. Now, it's like voting. Vote, vote, vote. Go out and vote. We're asking you now. Sign, sign, sign. And together, we can make a difference. We already did it. CUFA is a living proof of it. Together we stand, we have got things done. One or two of us, they'll just shoo us away. Get on out of here, get on out. You ain't making no noise. So that's what Willie is stressing. The more members we get, the stronger we get. And they got to listen, whether they want to listen or not. We got to start flooding City Hall, flooding the commissioner's office, and letting them know that we are fed up. And we're just not going to take it anymore. So everybody is fed up and had sewer block up. You need a sign. You need a sign on that line. I want to see your signature on that line. I want to see your face in the place when we get back to our personal meetings. I want to greet you and see you, and we're going to be there to back you up. You can ask anybody about CUFA. We do not back down. We do not go away, and we do not quit. This is too important. And Cincinnatians and Hamilton County has suffered far, far too long.
Okay.
Amen.
Amen.
It's
time to conclude. Is this the end of everything? Co-chairs? Do you all want to
Elder,
up?
you gonna join us?
Sure. Yeah, this membership meeting announcement, join us, CUFA. Okay. Stay in touch with CUFA. We got a website. Did anybody give that website out?
Yeah, it's been in the chat while you all were talking about it.
Okay. All
so
right.
if you all find that chat function, I do want to say, if you are on the phone and you didn't see any of the chat, you can find it all on our website at www.cufacincy.org.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, guys.